Always I am talking. Somebody let somebody talk. Youngsters, பேசுங்க தம்பி.
சார் உங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் புக் ரிலீஸ் பத்தி கொஞ்சம் டீடைலா சொல்லுங்க.
First book release, அதோட லான்ச் பத்தி கொஞ்சம் டீடைலா சொல்லுங்க.
Yeah, my first book, Greenwell Years, it received, in general, excellent to rave reviews, and many reviews also. And the reviews kept on going on and on. Mutya, for instance, even after 10 years later, he wrote about Greenwell Years. And it kept on selling more and more, though they were not put in bookstores. And thankfully, people like Gopalakrishna Gandhi, N. Ram and M. S. Swaminathan, they all think that Greenwell Years and Multiple Facets of My Madurai are going to become classics and are going to stay there for centuries. Many interesting things happened. For instance, I received a call from Tanjavur and said, I am Babaji talking. I said, are you by any chance the Prince of Tanjavur? He said, yes. What did I do to deserve a call from the Prince of Tanjavur? Then he said, I want you to talk about the heritage of Madurai. I said, at Tanjavur, how can I talk about the heritage of Madurai? And then he said, for heritage, there is no Tanjavur, no Madurai. Heritage is common. So I had the privileges of going and staying in his palace and then giving a big talk. And I did it at the happiest thing is, I did it at the Prahadishwara temple complex. So it was doubly happy, maybe doubly happy.
I have a question. Uncle, out of context, if you remember when we met at your house, you shared an interesting anecdote about a celebrity who continues to support you. Could you share something about that?
So, continue
to support you, a celebrity who continues to support you.
Oh, there are so many celebrities who continue to support me. N. Ram is one of them, and actually, and then M. S. Swaminathan is very supportive, and Badrinath and Arvind has with them maximum support. See, for instance, the 8th book, I have used the cover, this Alagar temple, and because I could see better in the, dusk and dawn, Chitra timed it in such a way that we went there at the dusk time. So I had already made a sketch and I made lot of improvements, and I have very special memory for that because as we came back, it was evening, and she stopped the car and we came outside and the glorious sunset, and I saw the Western Ghats from there. And my eyesight was going down all the time, and that was the last time I saw the Western Ghats. After that, my eyesight became so poor, I could not see the Western Ghats. So I have, instead of moping and saying, oh, I'm not able to see the Western Ghats, I feel very happy that I saw the Western Ghats when I went to do this Alagar temple, and that is the cover picture of my 8th retreat.
Positive thinking.
Thanks a lot for the book, the multiple phases about My Madurai, which is like a outstanding book that actually talks a lot about the culture of Madurai. So I am basically from Madurai, and I take pride in saying that I am a Madurai-karan because of that book, because a lot of people actually don't know about the history, and when they get to read the book, they actually are more involved and more, let's say, culturally knowledgeable when they understand what exactly is Madurai all about. I just have one quick personal query for you. So, which is your go-to place at Madurai? So, during your young age, where would you actually try to hang out? Where do you go?
No, what I did was, I went to Madurai often. Fortunately, two things also happened. We were developing an industrial fabric for the company with Coats Oyala, which used to be called Madras, Madurai Mills. And then the products I developed for the railways, and the railways chose Madurai to be testing it, and I was very happy. So I went on account of my company work also, but all these offices start only at 10 o'clock. So I will go early in the morning on a round, and I went on my own also often to Madurai on a sketching expedition. In those days I used to go in a cycle rickshaw with top, removing the top, and I will paraka pathukite poven. Enna alagana scene irundhalum I will make a sketch of it. So So that is how I did. Many street houses I drew. And there are a lot of interesting things. One of the things that happened was one Iyengar girl, the very traditional lower middle class family, she became a widow when she was 18. How her father, broke the shackles of this cruel widowhood by a very intelligent method, and finally she ended being the professor of mathematics in one of the California universities. It's a true story. I have written briefly about it. So there is a lot of positive side. There are negative sides. There is a lot of humorous aspects also. Like Jatkas. In inner city of Madurai, the buses cannot go. So all the whole lot of Jatkas, and people will not touch horse dung, though they will remove cow dung. So the entire Madurai, inner city of Madurai, there will be a feeble smell of horse dung. I have written about the negative things also and about the positive.
What is Jhatka, sir?
Jhatka is it's a mangy horse-drawn, rickety horse-drawn vehicle with spindly wheels. In one of the what I did in this book is, when I writing about Jhatkas, the Jhatkas will be small at the bottom. I do this West Chitrai Street, and the West Gopuram will dominate the scene, but you will see a lot of Jhatkas at the bottom. And I describe about Jhatkas. This is how I written. Every drawing had a larger background.
Sir, thanks for taking us through your journey of life beautifully. One thing about your drawing I want to ask, especially when I see this card where a lot of people are there, you have gone into details of each people's head also with ink drawing. How come you are able to make it with all the challenges you had? Because it describes in detail even every faces of the people, heads of the people especially. There are so many people are there, but you are able to do it very perfectly. How you are able to manage?
Two things I will say. One is, I told you the Greenwell years, there are 7 of us. One of them is Jairaj, who became a most famous magazine illustrator for 30-40 years. Many of the young people won't know him, older people will know him. And he and I are such good friends till today. And about people, I ask him, he will make pencil sketches and give it to me, and I will adapt it, of course. And he was helpful. So part of the reason is, he was very original idea. One example I will give. I did this, they chase the cows through the street, and he suggested this. One cow goes and eats a banana peel which is on the road, and when it bows down, its horns point at a woman who is standing on a padikat. So she moves her legs. He had ideas like that, and he used to give ideas. So, in other words, I won't take full credit. Lot of others also helped. When I did this most difficult drawing, this Pudumandapam, there are statues I cannot see, and a Canadian friend called Julian Smith, he was a good artist. Whatever I wanted, he used to make pencil sketches of those. And then there were tailors there. They were very helpful. I will climb on a stool and feel the statues with my hand so that I would understand how they are. So I did various ways of working on it. As my eyesight went down, it became more and more difficult. I had to use more and more innovative ideas. So I managed. And the stage came. Then my daughter said, "Appa, idhukku mela neenga varanjeenga quality koranjidum. You should stop. The next edition, you should not do more drawing." And my daughter ordered me, and I followed. I want to say one thing about bed sores. One of the things I saw in the medical book is horrible photographs of bed sores in vivid color. And that was revolting to look at. And the real bed sore, the natham, purukka mudiyadha natham. And even, in hospitals, people get bed sores. When I looked at the picture, I told myself, I stole the promise to myself, as long as I live, my muse will not have bed sores. We had a very complex system. People, I want to tell you, she lived for 35 years and there was not even a suggestion of a bed sore. While, Christopher Reeves, with all the millions of dollars in American technology and ripple mattress and so on, at least in the Hindu, I read that he died out of complications arising out of bed sores. So, while a rich man in a technology advanced country had bed sores, and my wife with poor me did not have bed sores, it's merely because of strategic love. That is all.
So we've got one last question.
Uncle, can you tell us about the color portrait of Mahima aunty you made?
As I lost my vision, I had to keep on increasing the power of glass. So I told Badrinath, I want a glass which should have a power somewhere around 27, 28. Because if it is 30, my nose will touch the paper because it has to be so close. And he made a worldwide search. And an Australian company said it will make glasses up to plus 27, but it will make bifocal. The bifocal, the lower level can be anything. So I chose plus 27 for near and plus 16 for further, so that I can keep it just 3 inches from my face and draw, because I saw only a small circle anyway. And then to see an overall picture, I move it about 10-12 feet, so the plus 16 I could see vaguely the thing. And when he gave it, suddenly I saw that I could see light brown. Previously I could not see light brown. What did I do? The first thing I did was I decided to do a ink. It's a color ink portrait. It is not a watercolor. There will be 10,000 lines on her face. So I did. She controlled the colors because I couldn't see the colors well. She suggested add little more brown, add little more pink, like that. So there's only different shades of brown in it. Her face is light brown. Lips I add a little bit of red, and for sari, and for hair it is Van Dyke brown, and Pottu red, and like that. I did this drawing, and I was studying and poring over it, and my wife said, my hero, has a magnificent obsession